Oh my God. I'm being sarcastic, chatter. Jesus Christ, dude. You've done it. You've successfully. I'm standing down. I'm done. Chat dog 5,000. Thank you for the 5. Get the subs. That's all. AIPAC is dumping $850,000 against Kat Abughazaleh. They recognize the threat that she presents. Why the fuck can't you? That's the problem. Okay? I'm sorry. Every single person that works at AIPAC is a million times smarter than you. Okay? That's just the truth. They see her as a threat. She went on television and said, I want to condition all aid to Israel. No distinction between defensive and offensive weapons. Okay? And you guys still think she is not a fucking real advocate for Palestinians when she herself is a fucking Palestinian. I'm done. I can't have this conversation with you guys any longer. It's very frustrating. It's incredibly fucking frustrating. You just want to meme around. You want to be like, no, if you want fucking Daniel Biss to win, go right ahead. Vote for Daniel Biss. Vote for Bushra. Vote for whoever the fuck you want to vote for. Many of you are not in Illinois 9 anyway, so it doesn't even matter. Okay? If you want to spend the next 5 days working alongside AIPAC to attack the candidate that AIPAC is spending $850,000 on, making sure that she doesn't win, have fun with that. Okay? That's it. If you want to be a servant of Israel, if you want to be fucking cattle, go moo around all up and down Illinois 9. Okay?
Do you support any aid to Israel? Or could that,
I
could
support,
that scuttle...
I support, for example, defensive weaponry. I support Iron Dome.
Ms. Abughazaleh, any aid to Israel at all?
Defensive weaponry is an oxymoron.
Actually, fuck you. No, go ahead. Cut the fucking AIPAC checks. Yeah, dog, I'm stupid for not wanting to vote for a disingenuous TikTok candidate. Do you live in Illinois 9? Send me proof right now that you live in Illinois 9, or I'm going to fucking ban you. Send the mods proof that you live in Illinois 9 right now, or you're getting fucking banned. Hassan, the strat didn't work for Kamala. Just get Kat to change. There is no strat here. You guys are fucking insufferable. Why is AIPAC spending $850,000 against Kat Abughazaleh's run, despite the fact that she is now sitting at 20%? Think. Why is Jewish Insider attacking Graham Plattner? Why do they keep saying Graham Plattner is a Nazi? Why does Jewish Insider even go to the lengths where they talk about how Graham Plattner's brother-in-law is actually in the IDF or was in the IDF? Is he actually anti-Israel after all? None of you want to think about these things. Unfortunately, many of you think you're highly educated voters. You think you are ideologically principled voters. But in fact, you are very malleable. You're just as malleable as the rest of these fucking cattle that don't even think about this shit at all. Okay? It's about any candidate that does this shit. You're just hurt. You put your whole stream behind her and taking it out on your community because you're embarrassed and saying to call anyone cattle for this. Okay, there you go. None of you have ever thought about pragmatism at all. You are going to let Daniel Defend Israel Biss win this fucking election. Okay? That's it. This is not about saving face. Stop trying to find a cynical alternative reason. I am communicating exactly what the reason is. Why not support Bushra? Because she's at 6% 5 days out from the fucking primary. Many of my long-term community members going forward from this point on, I suspect, is probably going to stay with Michael from Pennsylvania and refuse to come in here. And to all of you, I have to say this. Mike and I agree on a lot, okay? We agree on pragmatism. Sometimes Mike can be more correct than myself, and in other circumstances, I can be more correct than Mike. For example, Michael from Pennsylvania wanted a third-party run immediately, and I told him that the time wasn't right for that. Now, he's also very much actively trying to get DSA candidates endorsed and elected in the Democratic Party. Notice how he stopped advocating for third-party runs across the board in the entire country and is now doing exactly what I'm doing. Sometimes we can have fucking disagreements. If you think that one a person's political perspective trumps the other person's political perspective in this situation without making up your own fucking mind, and you just come in here to repeat talking points that he gave you, okay, for his own personal reasons. I'm not going to say it's cynical, okay, because I'm not a fucking asshole like many of you are. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, Michael's doing this for one reason or another. No, we have a disagreement. He understands, just like I do, that Kat Abughazaleh's foreign policy is horrible. Okay, it's bad. With the exception of Israel, it's bad. Her entire foreign policy platform was written by a person who is a liberal, NATO Atlanticist, pro-intervention, pro-NED, pro-CIA interventionist person. Okay, it's clear. You can see it. The reason why I'm not putting a lot of emphasis onto it is because, unlike Mike, I don't think this is a sincerely held perspective from Kat Abughazaleh, and it's more so just her, you know, trying to be morally consistent, as though that fucking matters. She's 26 years old and she's very green. Okay? That's it. You have to work with what you have. You have to be pragmatic. She is 4 points away. If you want to fucking go and do a protest vote against an anti-Zionist, when the choice is an anti-Zionist candidate versus a Zionist candidate, and you want to be the deciding factor in the Zionist candidate winning here because you wanted to throw your vote out and you think this is like Kamala Harris style lesser evilism, you're making the same exact fucking failed calculation that many people do when it comes to Graham Plattner. That's my argument, okay? That's it. She literally outflanks AOC when it comes to not offering defensive weapons to Israel. She outflanks AOC's foreign policy on Israel. You guys literally champion AOC's cause as though she is the most anti-Zionist here. And I do think that AOC is far more anti-Israel than the average congressperson. Kat Abughazaleh is better than AOC on this issue. That's it. If you have a stable assessment on candidates, you have to have it be the same across the board. That's it. That's
Do you
it.
support any aid to Israel? Or could that,
Yeah, I
could
support,
that scuttle...
for example, defensive weaponry. I support Iron Dome. For
Would
instance.
Ms. Abughazaleh any aid to Israel at all?
Defensive weaponry is an oxymoron. Weapons are inherently offensive, and for any
Do you
ally.
support Iron Dome?
No, I don't support any. We need to condition all aid to any country, any ally. It doesn't matter if it's Israel
So
or if
Iron
it's
Dome was where they
Mexico.
shoot down
Missiles that are coming in.
Right.
Right.
If we aren't using our leverage, there is no reason to condition any aid. We absolutely should be supporting our allies, but they have to follow our own laws first.
Do you support any aid to Israel? Or could that,
Yeah, I
could that
support-
scuttle...
Do you understand? I also think your perspective being more open is very important. We can disagree on tactics. I said the exact same thing you're saying today. So anyone saying anything different is wrong, but I consider a Taiwan take to be fucking batshit crazy. Yes, but I don't think it's a sincerely held opinion that she wants to fucking do a nuclear first strike on China. Okay, that's it. My point is, she's 4 points away. She is the viable anti-Zionist candidate in this race. Bushra, unfortunately, is not. Okay, that's it. It's that simple for me. She's pro-Medicare for all. Before people say she's not, she is pro-Medicare for all. Okay? If you're pro-Medicare for all and you're an anti-Zionist, that's like two major fucking issues solved right out of the fucking gate. It was the same reason why I liked Graham Plattner from the start as well. These are pretty reliable litmus tests. That's it. If you consider that not to be enough, and you are from your perspective, from your framework, you're like, no, I actually am going to take what she's saying in her foreign policy platform that literally doesn't even correspond to what she's saying on this broadcast, doesn't correspond to what she has said on TV, and it's very clearly written by a fucking horrible foreign policy advisor from the start. If you want to turn this into a Nita Allen situation, let's go. Let's have fun, you know? It's going to turn into that. Daniel Biss is going to be your fucking candidate. Have fun. Daniel Biss probably has a better take on Taiwan because he's smart enough to shut the fuck up about Taiwan, that he would never fucking bring it up. If you want to believe that Daniel Biss is going to be less of a warmonger than Kat Abughazaleh, you can fucking delude yourself into thinking that. Okay? That's the only difference. Daniel Biss is old enough to fucking know not to say some dumb shit like she's going to arm Taiwan and continue escalating militarily against China. That's the only difference. He might sincerely believe that too. But you'll never hear it because he's a much older politician. So go ahead. Work alongside AIPAC. AIPAC has already spent $850,000 on Kat Abughazaleh. Part of the reason is because she says shit like this. The other part of the reason is because she's fucking Palestinian. Okay? If you want to work alongside AIPAC, go right ahead. Go right ahead. Okay, that's it. And she fucking hates ICE. She wants to abolish and prosecute ICE. She's anti-Zionist, regardless of whatever the fuck her stupid ass campaign site says. And on top of that, she's pro-Medicare for all. And AIPAC, I'm going to repeat this one more time, is spending $850,000 against her right now, 5 days out from the election. It's probably a moot point at this point, no matter how hard I fucking ride for Kat regardless. Because once again, AIPAC is spending $850,000 in ad spend against her right now. So if you look at that situation and think, I think AIPAC is right, I'm going to side with AIPAC. I think she is not good enough for me. It doesn't matter that she has a real opportunity to go out and defeat Daniel Biss and run. If you think that, if you want to, whether you agree with AIPAC or not, it doesn't matter. You are aligning with AIPAC. Go right ahead. That's it. So are you saying it's okay for people to blame you for Trump winning since you didn't endorse Kamala? Maybe you should push Kat on her shit policies. It's 5 days out from an election. Every single aspect of her foreign policy is unironically insignificant in the primaries, with the exception of people like yourselves in this community. That's why I said this is similar to the Graham Plattner situation. These are things that you care about. These are not things that need to be fixed right now. That's it. It's completely ridiculous. The conversation that we're having in this community is, for the most part, utterly irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. I just don't want 100 people from my chat to be the fucking deciding factor that causes Daniel Biss, who wants to give defensive weapons to Israel, who might have a better Taiwan policy than Kat Abughazaleh, to fucking win the primaries by 100 fucking votes because 100 dumb fucks in my community that live in Illinois 9 ended up not voting for her. Okay, that's it. That's what I care about. That's what I want to avoid in this situation. Do you understand? And I've said this clearly with Graham Plattner. When I defended Graham Plattner initially, I said, when people were like, Graham Plattner, aren't you trying to do lesser evil voting? Aren't you trying to do lesser evil voting for Graham Plattner? Isn't this the same thing as Kamala Harris? Do you think Kamala Harris is also for Medicare for all, abolishing ICE, and anti-Zionist? Like, take the policies and put it into the other package and you will understand, okay? Kamala Harris is not bad because she's fucking Rizless, dumbass. Kamala Harris is bad because her policies were dog shit. Okay? Kamala Harris had power to at least try and stop the genocide and did nothing. This comparison is idiotic. Basically, vote smarter, not harder. Can we get someone who's 95% there? We can completely bomb it because of purity play. It's if I thought that her foreign policy positions were like sincerely held, I would have a very different approach to this. I would be a lot more skeptical. I think her foreign policy positions are bad. It's not even defensible. It's bad to indefensible. But the dichotomy between like the juxtaposition between what she's saying she's for versus what is written on her fucking website should give you a clear indication that that's not her foreign fucking policy at all. These are problems that happen when you're 26 fucking years old. And if she was polling currently at 5%, this would be an irrelevant conversation. I was like, go vote for Bushra if you want to vote for her. If you want to vote for Kat, vote for her. That's not the reality. 5 days out from the fucking primaries, she's sitting at 20%. Which means, especially considering, as Michael from Pennsylvania has also correctly pointed out, she actually has a much higher likelihood to win than even those polls show, because a lot of those polls don't actually correctly poll for youth turnout. So if she actually has even better youth turnout, then it's going to be an even closer race than fucking 24-20. So ask yourself that question. When that election night comes out, when the results are pouring in, do you want to functionally be on the side of AIPAC, whether you agree with AIPAC or not, or do you not want to be on the side of AIPAC? It's that simple. And no, I'm not going to ask Bushra to back out and back Kat either. That's disrespectful. I don't know her like that. I think it's ridiculous for me to do such a thing. Okay? But there are so many fucking people in the chat that are literally unironically behaving like wreckers. Okay? And it actually is frustrating endlessly. Grant Plattner murdered many people in the name of imperialism, was stationed at Abu Ghraib, and did multiple tours and served in Blackwater. Okay, don't worry. Hopefully Janet Mills will win, so you can be happy with the most pro-Israel candidate. Have you guys noticed that when you do stuff like this, when you say stuff like this, once again, you're probably not being pragmatic. You're basically deciding for all intents and purposes, you're hoping that the most pro-Israel candidate wins. Given the lack of power that the left has in this fucking country, I'm not going to fucking sit around and be like, you guys are tankies, you guys are ultras, blah, 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 all this shit. I never do this, okay? I don't do this at all. But just for the time being, just shut the fuck up, please. Please shut the fuck up. Like, the Department of Justice literally has federal charges against Kat Abughazaleh. She is hated by all the people that you fucking hate. But it turns out you don't maybe hate them that much. Daniel Biss does not have charges against him by the federal government for protesting outside of the Broadview ICE facility in Illinois. Kat Abughazaleh does. Daniel Biss doesn't have $850,000 in AIPAC ad spend being spent against him. Kat Abughazaleh is. You're promoting a Nazi to a stream full of minority groups? Get that fucking blue sky shit out of here, dude. Get this fucking blue sky shit out of here. You're promoting a Nazi to your stream full of minorities. That's woke 1.0, not woke 2.0, okay? Anyway, that's Grant Plattner. He's, yeah, the crypto Nazi. Chatters aren't thinking clearly, and you're not addressing what the problem is. The reality is the fight for rank choice is the most valuable fight of our electoral futures, but we can't fight for it here today. That's the reality. It's a fight worth having, but you need to fight it in a relevant battleground to make that change. The system is a who can win system, and it's 5 days away. Exactly. I am addressing that. I'm saying it. It's 5 fucking days away. And I don't have magical powers to change the outcome of a fucking race. Seriously, where this cattle hypocrisy comes when you don't endorse a shitty candidate like Kamala, you blame. And when you support a candidate that's much more viable candidate against this fascist regime, then you're making propaganda for not wanting the fascists to win this election. Wait, what? I'm confused as to what you're saying. The reason why I did not endorse Kamala Harris but urge people not to fucking vote for Donald Trump is because Kamala Harris was continuing a fucking genocide and refused to even separate herself from the genocide policy that Joe Biden was committing. Kat Abughazaleh is anti-genocide. It's pretty good. Pretty good starting point. Graham Plattner has 2 fucking Nazi tattoos. He's either a Nazi or a former Nazi. He doesn't have 2 Nazi tattoos. You got duped by opposition research of a hallucinating fucking blue dog Democrat. Once again, Graham Plattner is unironically one of the best communicators the Democratic Party has right now. I'll say it out loud. It's true. Regardless of his fucking red flags, that's just the case. Any comparison between Graham Plattner or even Kat Abughazaleh between Kamala Harris is idiotic. Because the reason as to why I did not endorse Kamala Harris wasn't because she was fucking Rizless. The reason why I did not endorse Kamala Harris was because she was pro-genocide. Kat Abughazaleh and Graham Plattner are anti-genocide. And that might be a low bar for many of you to clear. But if you actually fucking look at the rest of Congress, that's a pretty goddamn high bar, it seems. Okay? In a country where 70 to 80% of the Democratic base of support says Israel's committing a genocide and we must decouple from Israel. And there's like 12 total fucking congresspersons. Excuse me for wanting to make that number 13, maybe 14 if we're fucking lucky. But God forbid we try to do that. You guys have different plans. Have fun. Okay? That's it. That's my final statement on this issue. Hopefully we never have to talk about this shit ever again. Actually, that's not true. We will endlessly talk about this shit. When did the perspective on Plattner change? Last I checked, the Totenkopf was a pretty big ick when it first came out. I don't know. There was like months and months of Graham Plattner's statements that you can look at to understand, to give it a better, to give a fairer shake to what he actually stands for. Want to check logs on to move on, maybe? Can you endorse Annie Andrews for Senate? She's running on the Democratic primary. If she wins, she'll be up against Lindsey Graham. What? I have to look at this person. You're dealing with people who wish to torpedo the Capitol, bub? No, they won't. They won't do any of that shit. Okay? That's the thing. They just fantasize about doing shit like that. They're obviously, they just sit around and fucking watch me on Twitch, okay? No, I'm dealing with people who LARP. That's it. I'm also dealing with a lot of people who don't understand the balance. The balancing act of electoralism versus hoping to radicalize enough people. These are also the same people that are, dirty breakers, where they're like, all right, it's time to fucking do third-party viability. Third-party viability doesn't exist at this moment, okay? There is no movement for third party. It just doesn't exist right now. This isn't to say that it will never exist, but it won't fucking exist. at least in this election cycle. Okay? That's it. We just have a different assessment of the situation. But people can't comprehend that, my assessment might be different than them because they're fucking parasocial. And they think I have some other sinister, cynical purpose for why I'm saying the things I'm saying. That's the problem. And I hate that more than anything else because I'm stubborn to a fucking fault. Okay? If I feel something, I will tell you. If I'm angry at something, I will openly communicate it to you. It's been 12 fucking years of doing this shit. And not only has it been 12 fucking years of doing this shit, I've been doing this on Twitch since 2018. Okay? At this point, I think I deserve a little bit more charitability than a 68-month subscriber who's like, oh, you're just embarrassed because you fucking backed her from the start. What a fucking stupid attitude, man. What a fucking idiotic attitude. Yeah, it mustn't be the things that I explained to you. It must be some secret reason, and you arrived at it. You fucking parasocial piece of shit. Fuck you. The disaster on the MR chat was different. Cat writers went to war, started attacking old timers for understanding the strategic ambiguity thing, calling them Maoists. The old timers weren't considering the electoralist angle. Yeah, I hope that she doesn't have a bunch of like liberal interventionists in her audience either. Yeah, you are naive and you have a bad judgment of character. For weeks, shadows have been calling you a shitlib and a tanky in the same day. I know. If you want to criticize me or if you want to criticize the things that I'm saying, do so. Don't fucking invent alternative reasons. Okay? Do not fucking invent some cynical reason as to why I must be doing the thing I'm doing. It's so fucking annoying. Sometimes it feels like 50% of this chat thinks the communist revolution happened and all we have to do is weed out the last few revisionists. It was political suicide to be a candidate like Kat or Plattner like not even 10 years ago. Yeah, it was political suicide to be a candidate like Kat or Graham Plattner literally when Graham Plattner first fucking came out. Like it was political suicide to be a candidate like either of them 3 fucking years ago. Okay? People have hardened their positions after just finding out about Israel for the last 2 years. And now they're coming to me, the guy who they learned about Israel from, and telling me that I'm insincere in my advocacy. It's fucking unbearable. It's ridiculous. Go back to TikTok. Jesus fucking Christ. Is it time for another purge? No, it'll happen already. Hassan, you are a centrist. Marjorie Taylor Greene is anti-genocide and AIPAC hates her. Does she have your support now? If Marjorie Taylor Greene also was pro-Medicare for all, if Marjorie Taylor Greene was anti-ICE, pro-Medicare for all, anti-fucking, waging war with Mexico, yeah, I would genuinely reconsider my stances on Marjorie Taylor Greene. Hello? Are you okay? The question is, wouldn't you? She criticized Trump for Medicaid cuts. Go door knock. Wait, 47-month subscriber. Did I say criticizing Trump for Medicaid cuts is the reason for why we should support Marjorie Taylor Greene? Or did I say convincingly being in support of Medicare for all? Do you think those two things are the same? Perhaps you already know that those two things are not the same, which is why you had to lean into this dumb bullshit. Do you think this is a good argument? Kat wasn't for M4A 2 days ago. Oh my fucking God. When Kat came on this broadcast, she was for Medicare for all. What the fuck are you talking about? The shit in her fucking campaign website is irrelevant. This is why I'm saying, like, the purge is all of the fucking OG community members. That's it. It's motherfuckers like this. 47-month subscriber. Logs, can you look at how they all sound like ContraPoints? They'll say I sound like fucking ContraPoints. I'm with you regarding Kat, but I think your support of Shaikat is due to him having a larger campaign fund than Connie. It's still early in the race, and I believe the locals have her back, not his. Yeah, I'm going to do everything I can to fucking change that. And no, it has nothing to do with Shaikat's fucking campaign funds. I don't give a shit about that at all. Look at Oliver Larkin. Do you think someone's campaign coffers are a relevant factor in this? No, Shaikat is not just the best candidate in that race. Shaikat is one of the best candidates in every race. Please go look at her fucking policy papers. Go look at his policy papers. If you want to develop a better understanding, not only does he have a shit ton of fucking experience in this. This was her Medicare take on your stream. Yeah. Okay.
I think that Medicare for all doesn't go far enough. We need single payer health care with, dental, mental, vision, and hearing coverage.
Think. If she says this on this broadcast, but her fucking policy, her policy papers or her policy prescriptions on her website are so different, what do you think? What do you think is the problem here? Do you think it's because she's a 26-year-old who hired a bunch of people to write this shit, and ultimately she thinks that those guys are competent and are showing her best face forward? Or do you think she has this as her sincerely held position? Think. Why this major juxtaposition? I think you're being taken for a ride, man. 2 days worth of brigades from Chatter Screaming she's against Medicare for all when they could have just watched the fucking stream with her on it. I know, but no one wants to do that. No one wants to fucking do that. What are your red lines when supporting harm reduction candidates compared to the less likely to win candidate? What do you mean? Pro-genocide, pro-ICE, funding ICE. I don't know. Like the reversal of most of her positions. You just have to look at every race individually as well. Like you have to look at who you're running against, like who your opposition is, what they're advocating for. But I will not stand for people being like, she's not an anti-Zionist. That to me is fucking ridiculous. Like she's literally Palestinian, man. Jesus Christ. I know I'm a gray name, but I've been watching since 2020 and seeing all these annoying ass chatters type up a storm when they see a candidate that doesn't take APAC money, wants to abolish ICE, wants Medicare for all, and is some real record behavior. Progressive could never progressive enough for them. It's obnoxious. Yeah, it's unbelievable the way that fucking people are behaving. I truly cannot comprehend it, especially because like this isn't a race between like a competent progressive candidate and then someone who's like maybe marginally better than them. This is a race between a candidate that has sought APAC money, okay, and a candidate who is being attacked by APAC. And the chatters literally are looking at the situation where there's 4 fucking points between the candidate who sought APAC funding and the candidate who's Palestinian, and they're fucking going, she's not anti-Zionist enough. What the fuck is going on? Wake the fuck up. If you want, look, Daniel Biss is better. Daniel Biss is better than the average Democrat. I mean, he's literally pushing the Bernie line and the AOC line on defensive weapons. Okay? He'll be just fine. If you guys want that, then go right ahead. Go right ahead. You know? But I don't want to fucking hear from anybody complaining about this shit. Anyway, speaking of one of the more positive sides about this, I love you, but a candidate's written policy prescriptions are much more important than the rhetoric they use when they're campaigning. They know how to use and manipulate an audience. Kat makes me nervous. You're a fucking idiot if you think that that is legitimate. Like, I've known this person for years. I'm telling you as openly as I can that there is one thing, like her outward communication is not obviously directed by herself. Okay? She's literally pro-NATO, bro. Oh, really? Do you guys have a lot of anti-NATO candidates that you like? Give me one fucking American Democratic Party politician that's anti-NATO, with the exception of like Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib, who I probably think are still anti-NATO, or I mean pro-NATO, let's be real. Do you know a single American Democratic Party candidate that is currently in office right now that openly says that they are anti-NATO? Are they here? Have you met them? Do you think that this is a sincere distinction that you make when voting for a candidate? Do you know a single one? Do you know a single anti-NATO Democrat? One. Just one. Give me one fucking anti-NATO Democrat name right now. Ask yourself why your NATO is not good now, you fucking dingus. Shut the fuck up. You can't answer because there is none. You fucking moron. The question is, why are you making this distinction right now? Because if your standard is, I want a Democrat to come out and say, fuck NATO, okay? I say fuck NATO. But if I thought, if my red line for voting for a fucking Democrat was that they have to come out and say they're anti-NATO, there's no one I could vote for. Why are you looking for a reason, any reason whatsoever? Why is this a standard that you apply to every candidate? Or are you simply using it because you're a fucking debate pedophile and you feel like this is something that you can debate endlessly? I think the answer is that you're a fucking debate pedophile. Okay? That's it. Apply the same standards evenly to every candidate. Grade them on a curve. That's what I do. Okay? That's what I do. You have to be fucking pragmatic. Bro, everyone hates NATO except the establishment. As someone who lives in NATO country, that's fucking hilarious to hear. It's just a puppet state that complies with the U.S. and maintains the same order of capital. Oh my God. Oh my fucking God. I asked a very specific question. It's giving blue sky liberal. I think... Why are you telling tens of thousands of people to only focus on one race on a day with multiple congressional primaries are happening with multiple DSA and Bernie endorsed candidates who are viable and can win? Wait, what? I've covered the other races as well. What the fuck are you talking about? Please switch to Illinois chat only mode. Illinois chat only mode is the ones that are being annoying currently. If I were taking the least charitable position possible, Taiwan and China are still not currently trying to bomb one another back into the Stone Age. Israel certainly trying to do that with every single one of his opponents and is trying to take us down with it. I really wish people would consider this when discussing Kat. No, they can't. Like, it's so funny because all those fucking centrist liberals unironically think that they must think I'm like some guy who literally says like, do not vote, do not ever vote. Voting is bad. You need to firebomb a Walmart all the time or something. Because there are people like that in this community and I fucking yell at them all the time. Like, I wear a totally separate hat when discussing elections, okay? Viability is very important. Being pragmatic is very important. Moving the needle in the appropriate direction is very fucking important. We got 5 fucking days, man. Gen Z are cooked. They're trying to outwoke each other, but don't act on it. I suspect that's who's being pissy in the chat without even understanding how hard it is to gain even 1%, never mind 20%. Yeah. Illinois 8 DSA candidate is Junaid Ahmed. Yes. And he got the Bernie nod. I wish Bernie and AOC would be like, more active in doing this stuff, but he seems great. And Ben McAdams for Illinois State Senate in the 24th District. Manur Ahmed for DuPage County Board in District 2. Joey Ruzevich for Illinois 6 Congressional. Ask Zohran about Taiwan next time. Surely he would answer. Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of you motherfuckers love Zohran. Let me ask Zohran about Taiwan. What do you think he's going to say? Huh? The fuck do you think he's going to say? People have asked him about Cuba. People have asked him about Venezuela. Obviously, Cuba is very fucking important to me. I'm literally going there. You don't make the same, you don't play the same game. You don't have the same consistency with the candidates. You go off of vibes. This is not good. Okay? Bernie Sanders says he would intervene if China took military action against Taiwan. Cooper asked Sanders if China taking military action against Taiwan would elicit a military response from the United States. That's something, yeah, Sanders said. I mean, I think we would have to make it clear to countries around the world that we will not sit by and allow invasions to take place. Absolutely. I believe we should uphold Taiwan's sovereignty, the one China policy, and strategic ambiguity are things we should keep. The obsession over Kat Abughazaleh's hawkishness, which compared to lefty heroes like Bernie, definitely indicates a misogyny component here. An off-the-cuff response, not the same as saying she wants to fight a war with China. You're lying. I think Mike is getting a little cooked by Sammy Gold here. Sammy fucking fried him, and I am aligned with Michael's policies, his vision, his agenda, 100%. As opposed to like Sammy, who has, in recent years become much more open-minded and much more radical in his politics. I'm aligned with Mike on China 100%. I'm more Chinese than he is. This, I think, is Bernie's take on China. Washington's dangerous new consensus on China. Don't start another Cold War. Yeah, I mean, okay, that's Kat's take too. Kat's like, come on. Where she's like, this is Matt Duss's take on China, by the way. This is not Bernie's take on China. This is Matt Duss's take on China. Because unlike Kat Abughazaleh, Bernie has hired a more competent foreign policy advisor. One that we disagree with all the fucking time when it comes to certain issues, for the record. Okay? Bernie, this is Benjamin Netanyahu's genocide Sanders, right? I know the person who wrote this. Okay? It's not Bernie Sanders. I've had the person who wrote this on the broadcast. Okay? Perhaps candidates are somewhat at the mercy, regardless of their 80-year-long experience in fucking office, they're somewhat at the mercy of their foreign policy advisors when writing out the fully fleshed out opinion on foreign policy. And when they're, giving a response in real time, they just end up coming across like they want to do a nuclear first strike on China. Mike, you know this. Stop. You know this. A lot of these people that are in office that we talk to, that we have interviewed, that we've been around, that we like, that we advocate for, don't know what the fuck they're talking about when it comes to foreign policy. Okay? Not everyone's going to be Oliver Larkin. Kat literally openly says multiple times she doesn't want a war with China. For God's sake, she literally said that she supports Taiwan unifying with China. Taiwan wants status quo, so Kat would say then keep status quo. Those are her words on MR and breaking points. I know those are her points, and it doesn't matter. Especially considering that this is also utterly irrelevant in the grand scheme of things, because not a single person in Illinois 9, with the exception of those in my community that might be in Illinois 9, is making a decision on voting for Kat Abughazaleh over Daniel Biss because of their fucking opinion on Taiwan. As a matter of fact, most Americans would probably agree with her. Our job is to change Americans' minds. Okay? Go ask the average American what they think. Should we fight China? If China invades Taiwan militarily, they'll be like, oh yeah, we should. We should protect democracy, because most Americans think America is a force of good. Okay? I'm in her district, bro. So I'm asking in good faith. I understand she's green. You should feel like she's malleable, but why is she quadrupling down when she knows everyone on the left thinks it's a dog should take on China? Because no one cares about the left. Oh my God. Get over it. Build a bridge and get over it. No one cares about the left. I already explained to you that she tried to fucking land in a morally consistent sovereignty argument that also simultaneously says like, hey, listen, if Taiwan wants to unify with China democratically, it's great. I'm on board with it. I don't want to go to war with China, all this shit. I'm here for the movement. I have Kat win so that in 2 years back, we can look back and give one of you two shit, depending on how it plays out. Annoyingly, to get there, Kat has to win because she just loses. We'll never know. Yes. I can't believe this, like, in my opinion, utterly irrelevant point of like Kat, I know. I think the Bible, the Android platform, so GT watch or not, they will fund it and they say it's Israel hurts their cause, concerns, and Israel usually say that the stars. Yes, that's the reason they're attacking her. That's the reason they're dumping money in fucking race. Yeah, she's Israel, but for Travis, it's not enough. You know, she's not Israel. She's not talking about funding Hamas teams. Which is ironic because if we reach the ultimate moral conclusion, what she's saying about Taiwan, she should be absolutely in favor of offering as many fads to Hamas as possible. Clearly, it's not morally consistent perspective. It's one shrouded by getting a foreign policy international relations degree from Washington University. But no average American is having a conversation at that level. Okay, you guys have gotten fat. I've spoiled you silly for constantly hammering these points over and over in this fucking community. So you literally now have this false sense of reality where you fucking think someone who's running for Illinois should also have a similar foreign policy perspective. What you got? I need to hammer it in terms of pragmatism as well, I think. She got 2 years to prove me right or prove me wrong. If she's bad, I'll be my power fucking unseer. That is if she wins the primary. Okay? That's it. Your greed disgusts me. Chat. It's true. Anyway, now we've mentioned how toxic this fucking media can be. Let's talk about how wonderful it can be. Why article? There's no article. There's an next on Monday, streamer and content creator Hassan Piker helped raise more than $56,000 in one stream for Oliver Larkin. That number is now up to $62,000, by the way. A former Bernie Sanders campaign staffer who's seeking the primary Jared Moskowitz, a moderate Democratic congressman from Florida. It was the most the campaign had raised in a single day, Larkin said on X shortly after the stream ended. Over the past few years, creators have become an essential piece of campaign messaging strategy, but Piker's recent stream for Larkin is the latest sign that online influence is being leveraged for direct fundraising as well. Piker isn't alone. Trisha Paytas is a YouTuber with more than million subscribers and a long history of provocative stunts, isn't known for her political activism, but in February, she donated more than $10,000 to a campaign called Creators Against ICE. The campaign, organized by Creator Collective Creators for Peace, is just one in a string of fundraisers organized by coalitions of creators turning social media followings into political fundraising machines. Unlike traditional fundraising models like super PACs that pool funds from publicly reported donors, these creator collectives pool audiences and leverage social networks and off-the-shelf tools like Shopify and Tiltify that convert followers into donors. Creators for Peace is one of the most prominent groups in a line of creator coalitions mobilizing around causes from Gaza relief to immigration aid, establishing a model that could reshape grassroots fundraising ahead of midterm elections. There are a lot of creators that I think recognize the power of having a platform, says Hassan Kader, one of the Creators for Peace organizers. There's more to a call of action culturally with creators than I think there's ever been before. Creators for Peace was established in 2024 by Nikki Carey on an Instagram group DM with a handful of other creators to raise money for Gaza relief. The group chat expanded more than 120-person Discord server that includes influencers like millions of followers on platforms like Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. People like Curtis Connor, Hassan Piker, the Try Guys, who collectively boast more than 15 million followers on their primary platforms, got involved. Members shared infographics with their audiences and organized a live stream. By the end of the campaign, the group had raised more than $1.6 million. We largely start from zero on each campaign. I will individually reach out to several creators. We'll get something out, and then once we allow that to catch fire on its own, a bunch of creators will reach out to us, says Kader. With the Creators for Peace immigration fundraiser, Kader says, we really wanted to try and move out of the leftist bubble just a little bit because a lot of our audience tend to align with us on those issues. Bro, what is this? Shield of Americas or Shackles of Americas, Chinese embassy in the USA. They're fucking dunking. They're dunking on us. Anyway, by connecting with more apolitical creators like Paytas, the Creators Against ICE campaign has raised nearly $140,000 for the National Immigration Law Center, according to group's Tiltify fundraiser. Creators have come under fire for remaining silent on political issues for years. Silence is often seen in online spaces as complicity. Groups of Democratic political influencers like Under the Desk News have also started raising funds for whistles to alert communities about the presence of ICE agents, community watch support as well. In February, around 80 creators were a part of an anti-ICE merch fundraiser tied to Bad Bunny's Super Bowl performance, selling t-shirts, hats, stickers featuring the singer's Sapo Concho mascot. The campaign raised more than $100,000 for immigration and legal defense funds. This is what I was wearing. For a traditional fundraiser, even at the local level, you're buying a seat for $250 a night, and that's something that not everybody has access to. Jenny Kay, a spokesperson for the fundraiser, but a sweatshirt, bracelet, or hat, $5, $10, $50 feels very accessible to the masses and more authentic to people. Not everybody wants to go and sit at a dinner and listen to somebody speak on stage in a canned response. People want to be on the streets, reaching more people and wearing their politics. Throughout the 2024 race, campaigns collaborated with creators who would post on their behalf, amplifying their messages and expanding their reach online. Going into the 2026 midterms, creators are building their own infrastructure to support the campaigns and issues they care about on their own terms, defying the traditional top-down party models. While fundraising for candidates hasn't been done at the scale by creators just yet, groups like Creators for Peace and Piker Stream with Larkin show that some semblance of a creator pack might not be too far off. It's not a pack. That's what I like about my stream. The reason why I like my stream is because it's public. a PAC has the capacity to create like unlimited funds virtually, right? Like dark money super PACs. Whereas when I am leaning into a candidate, when I'm saying this is a good candidate, you should give money to this candidate's campaign, that automatically reads as like individual donations from, you know, if we're raising $60,000 for Oliver Larkin, for example, that's like thousands of individual donators, right? From all around the country. So there's a level of transparency that comes in. Yours is automatically dark money because you're brown, but yeah. But yeah, this is a great article that, you know, understands exactly what I'm trying to do. But the unholy alliance of AIPAC, Crypto, and DraftKings are buying Illinois primary elections, stop progressive candidates, and install MAGA-aligned conservative Democrats. If they win, they'll deploy the playbook across 45 states that have upcoming primaries. Here are the receipts corporate media is not covering. AIPAC, well-funded pro-Israel lobbies burned tens of millions of dollars in the Illinois House primary. In a moment, I share a case study at Illinois House District 9. But please know that we are witnessing a broader pattern in which AIPAC and its affiliated political infrastructure are trying to overwhelm local elections with national geopolitical money. The spending in District 9 is not isolated. AIPAC-aligned spending is also flowing across Illinois congressional races to protect candidates who remain aligned with its policy agenda. House District 2, AIPAC is spending absurd resources to prop up right-wing corporate Democrat Donna Miller. Miller allegedly claimed she would not take AIPAC money, but then happily accepted their corrupt funds. House District 6, AIPAC is backing corporate Democrat Sean Casten, who has continued to deny genocide in Gaza while funding Netanyahu's war crimes. If you're in District 6, vote for the fully people-funded candidate, Joey Ruzevich, the DSA endorsed candidate. Right? I think. I don't want to. Yes. Okay. Before people yell at me because I got the DSA endorsement wrong. Illinois High 7, AIPAC is spending absurd resources to prop up right-wing corporate Democrat Melissa Conieres Irvin, who was fined $60,000 by an ethics board for a disciplinary action for misusing taxpayer resources. Now she refuses to speak to any constituent who so much asked her about her nearly $3 million AIPAC spend when she to get her elected. In the 7th district, voters should be voting for antitrust lawyer Reed Showalter, who's running a 100% people-funded campaign. Is that the one that DSA endorsed in District 7, or is it not a district endorsement in District 7? I guess not. 8, AIPAC is spending absurd resources to prop up right-wing corporate Democrat Melissa Bean. District 8 is obviously where Junaid Ahmed is running. Father of 4, DePaul graduate, immigrant and proud Illinoisan who has given back to his community throughout his life. And Junaid was also recently endorsed by Bernie Sanders and AOC, I think. Or maybe just Bernie Sanders. AIPAC is backing District 9. AIPAC is spending absurd money to prop up Laura Fine while actively attacking Kat Abughazaleh. More on this below. Let's briefly talk about Illinois 9th District Democratic primary. According to available filings, Elect Chicago Women, a PAC backed by AIPAC's political network, has already spent $2.8 million supporting Laura Fine. Meanwhile, a deceptively named group called Chicago Progressive Caucus has spent an additional $389,000 promoting Fine while attacking Kat Abughazaleh. The substance of that spending is not subtle. Fine has refused to acknowledge genocide unfolding in Gaza, continues to support military aid to Israel, even as credible international institutions, including the International Court of Justice, major human rights organizations like B'Tselem, have recognized Israel's actions as genocide. By contract, Abughazaleh, who is herself half Palestinian, has called for adherence to international law and accountability for war crimes, including the arrest of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, pursuant to international legal standards. Abughazaleh is the only viable candidate to have the courage to demand justice on this critical issue. And now, with recent polling showing she is within the margin of error to win this election, AIPAC is spending nearly $1 million in new attack ads against her. When outside organizations spend millions of dollars to elevate one candidate while targeting another for demanding compliance with international law, the issue at stake is not simply campaign strategy. It's the integrity of democratic self-governance itself. Okay? The pattern is unmistakable. Candidates who rely on grassroots support, who are willing to speak openly about international law and human rights, find themselves facing a tidal wave of outside spending designed to bury their campaigns under attack ads. Meanwhile, the voters are often misled by PAC names that sounds progressive. In this case, defending Israel's genocide. Similar to AIPAC, the crypto industry is propping up pro-MAGA candidates, yes, in the Democratic primary. Anyway, the gambling industry is also doing it. It's great. Anyway. First time I've heard these candidates be mentioned. They don't have bad policies like Kat. What? First time I have seen these people mentioned. They don't have bad policies like Kat. The races I'm talking about for Congress are in Illinois the same day and have DSA and Bernie endorse people who can win. When did you cover the other Illinois congressional races with better candidates and endorsement and viability? You covered them. First time I've seen these people mentioned. They don't have bad policies like Kat. Dude, it's because I fucking hate the Democratic Socialists of America and also the state of Illinois. That's the reason why I was only talking about Kat Abughazaleh. Okay? Dude, can you stop having an autistic hyperfixation on one fucking candidate for one reason or for 1 second, please? Like, is it being just the most annoying possible fucking person in this chat the only way that you can think you can do political advocacy? Are you a fucking bot? What's wrong with you, dude? Yeah, I don't have the power to cover every single fucking candidate, okay? Jesus Christ. I live in Naperville and trust this is the center for the revolution. What is this? I regret to inform chat that the era of open presence liberalism is over. Gift to subs was a policy mistake. A new administration begins now. No more treats, says zero presence. I get your frustration. Because if Kat loses to Biz in a marginal victory, it would be the definition of snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. I mean, seriously, a lot of people would be fucking excited, elated at that prospect. Close presence. Thank you for the 100 gifted subs. I just asked my friend in China about this whole Kat thing, and he just said, just do whatever is best for yourselves. If you guys attack China, we'll crush you anyway. I think you should debate Maine resident, the Cavernacle, to settle these debates once and for all. And then I'll debate the other Maine resident, Bad Empanada, to defend Graham Plattner. I really like Cavernacle too, so it's not, I'm not dissing him, okay? Anyway. All right, that's all I got for today. I've been through enough leftist infighting, and even this is ridiculous. Why do you dislike the DSA? Bro, are you fucking stupid? You think I dislike the DSA? Do you think I'm being serious? What the fuck is wrong with you?